All right there, guys. Welcome back to the channel. So, thought I'd cover this James Pearce article with you today, and it's basically going over Salah, Trent, and Van Dijk's contracts, and he's titled it "What We're Hearing." So he starts this off by saying it's proven to be a very quiet January transfer window for Liverpool, but there are some matters to address over player retention, as Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent have arguably been the Premier League's leaders' most influential performers as they pursue 4 trophies. But the trio also have something else in common. They have all entered the final 18 months of their contracts. Then his next paragraph is basically a little bit of an outline on what the situation is as it stands. Like Salah's the highest paid player in the club's history. Van Dijk's on 250 grand a week. His performances last year were under scrutiny, but he's got better now, taken over the captaincy since Henderson left. And Trent is on 200 grand a week. He's closing on 300 appearances for Liverpool and has also become the vice captain as well. So the next paragraph is one a little bit more interesting to talk about, and it goes on about like, why have Liverpool not opened talks before now? So Liverpool's stance is that it will be addressed when the time is right. When is that time, do you guys think? I always kind of feel like you should be talking to a player about a new contract now, between 24 and 18 months. So it gives you enough time to have a discussion going on, see what they're thinking, what are the current feelings and vibes around the team, what was it they'd be looking for, in terms of, wages, what do they want, signing on fees, yada, yada, bonuses and all that. So before a ball was kicked this season, the expectation was that Klopp's side would be competing for a top 4 Premier League finish. Now they find themselves challenging for all 4 trophies. No one wants an unwanted distraction with so much at stake between now and May. Right, so with this, guys, this is one thing that really does my head in a little bit in regards to this. So I just want to put this out there. The players themselves do not do the discussions, the contracts, anything like that. It's their agents. So you're telling me that a player can't go do his training, can't play a game because somebody else is having a conversation about something. Do you know what I mean? Literally, all you have to do is tell that agent, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm feeling about right now, this is what kind of pay packet I'll be looking at. Go try and do it. Tell me what they think when they come back, and then that's it, back and forth. The agent's the go-between. So you don't have to go and do that. The only time the player gets involved is when he goes and sits down and signs the fucking contract. Do you know what I mean? That is it. So, I don't know. Part of me, with all football players going back years, that has pissed me off as a bit of an excuse as into why players' performances can dip when it comes to contract situations. I don't buy it at all. Unless the player does not have an agent, right? Then I don't get then in that situation, I'd understand. But if you have an agent who you are paying to do this job for you, I don't see what the problem is. Liverpool have a long-standing relationship with the representatives of all 3 players. They turned down an offer rising to 150 million from Saudi Pro League champions Al Ittihad for Salah in August because they regarded him as irreplaceable. The previous month, Van Dijk and Trent had both been elevated to captain and vice-captain, so they believe all 3 now know how highly they are valued. George Schmadtke was always a short-term appointment when he was tempted out of retirement to take over Julian Ward last summer, and reports in Germany suggest this will be his final transfer window at Liverpool before he returns to his homeland. Well, there's also other rumours going around from his homeland in Germany that he will be extending until June or something daft like that. Schmadtke's focus has been solely on negotiating transfers, so his successor will probably be tasked with sorting out the contract renewals within a framework acceptable to the executives at FSG, which owns the club. So basically what you're telling us here is that nothing is going to happen on these contracts until they get a sporting director in place, which has taken, over a year, and we still don't have a permanent sporting director. Okay. In terms of the timing of negotiations, the huge financial commitment involved in terms of agents signing on fees on top of the wages has to be considered, particularly concerning profit and sustainability rules. We're not going to spend no money in summer, guys, because we're going to be giving these guys big contracts. A player's age is also significant. Alexander-Arnold, 25, is a different case to Eva Salah, who will turn 33 in the summer of 2025, and Van Dijk, who will be 34 in 18 months. That said, there is a firm belief that Salah and Van Dijk are in good shape and that they will be excelling at the highest level beyond that. This next bit, guys, is about how do the players feel about it. There's no sense of unease. They are too immersed in Liverpool's challenge for silverware. That's underlined by the lack of speculation over their futures. None of them have spoken publicly about it. So, I don't know if I'm just reading too much into this, guys, but that feels like a little bit of a contradiction in regards to why the contract talks didn't get opened up. You know, in the previous paragraph where I mentioned they didn't want to do it to distract them. Well, they just kind of said there as well that they're too busy thinking about the challenges to be bothered. Whatever. Maybe I've looked a bit too much into that. It's a far cry from the last time Salah was down to the last 18 months of his contract. In late 2021, he was giving interviews to the Spanish newspapers and openly speaking about the prospect of joining Madrid and Barcelona, as talks with Liverpool stalled. They know what I want. I'm not asking for crazy stuff, Salah said at the time. The difference now is that he already has a contract that he feels recognises his talent and contribution. Quotes here. We know clubs are hesitant to give big contracts to older players, but Mohamed can play well into his early 40s if he wants to, Salah's agent said at Harvard Business School's case study into Salah's contract saga. Abbas revealed that one of the sticky points during these negotiations was the balance between fixed and variable compensation, with Liverpool favouring a lower fixed wage and greater emphasis on incentives bonuses linked to starts, goals, assists, and progress in the Champions League. Abbas claimed that the playing contract that was signed in 2022, combined with lucrative image rights deals, would net the Egyptian up to £1 million a week. Wow. Proud to be captain of what Klopp coined Liverpool 2.0, Van Dijk is excited about the future at Anfield. The centre-back partnership with Konate has grown stronger, as his body. Van Dijk hasn't had an issue with his knee since returning to action in 2021. He never needs to ice it or have fluid drained. He has only missed 2 league matches this season, and they were both due to suspension. Van Dijk sees AC Milan's legends Paolo Maldini and Costa Curate, if that's how you say his name, sorry guys, as reference points for his career. Maldini retired at 40 and the other player retired at 41. Thiago Silva is still going in the Premier League at age 39, and Van Dijk believes he can enjoy the same kind of longevity given he started his professional career later than others. He isn't mentally drained either. He made his professional debut on his 20th birthday. Alexander-Arnold, who is sidelined by knee ligament problems, is focused on getting back to fitness as soon as possible. This is the first time that he has entered the final 18 months of a contract at Liverpool. When he penned his last renewal, he still had 3 years remaining on his deal. Again, guys, just to emphasize this point, again, I want to just probably keep putting this over within this video. It's not the players that negotiate these deals. Trent could be doing his physio. Trent could be doing this, that, and the other. And he could still be having his agent talking about the contract. It probably is ongoing, guys. In the background, there's a bit above where he said no formal talks have taken place. So to me, that reads that there's informal talks that have taken place. So, and the thing for me so far that stuck out to this is the whole Schmadtke thing is that basically Liverpool are going to wait until they've found a sporting director before they have legit talks in regards to contracts. These are 3 of the biggest players. You've said it yourself, James Pearce. These are 3 of the biggest players at Liverpool right now. Just get somebody talking to them. Why does it have to be a sporting director to do it? Now, his next paragraph. Does this mean any of them are likely to leave? Not as things stand, but the situation should be clearer come the summer. Salah's future is the most intriguing given the ongoing interest from Saudi. They were prepared to give him a 3-year contract last summer worth $1.5 million per week, around 4 times his salary. Quotes from Klopp here. I can't see how we can really deny it in any specific moments. The difference between the contracts here and the contracts there are so big it causes problems. That's what Klopp said before Liverpool turned down that £150 million offer. However, it remains to be seen whether Salah is tempted to make the move this summer. He didn't agitate last year, and there's certainly nothing to suggest that he's eyeing a fresh challenge with his commitment unwavering. He's still rewriting the Anfield record books, recently becoming the 5th player to score 200 goals and has been energised by Liverpool's title challenge. Salah would be the ultimate marquee signing for the Saudis, but the lure of the country may be reduced by the struggles of his former teammates Henderson and Firmino this season. There could be a little bit to that, but I personally believe that due to Salah's, how he was probably brought up and, the whole lifestyle over there, it's probably something that he would love to go and do, when you've lived in countries where your religion is not the number one religion in that country and, it's a big part of your life. I think the prospect of going somewhere where you could still do your job, get paid big money, it would be a lure, wouldn't it? You potentially feel more comfortable doing that. But maybe not just yet. I reckon he could do a few more years at Liverpool, at the top level, as has been said a bit more in this. And of the three, you would say that Salah's probably the most likely to leave. But again, let's just wait and see what happens there. And then his last paragraph here is it unusual for high-profile players to enter the last 18 months of their deal? Well, I'd say so, It used to be the case that the 2-year mark was reviewed as pivotal, but times have changed, with players more prepared to be without the security of long-term deals as they consider their options. Liverpool allowed Firmino, Milner, Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita to run down their contracts and leave as free agents last summer. Not to mention Gini Wijnaldum, who left for on a free transfer as well. The sales of Henderson and Fabinho also enabled the club to get some more high earners off the books. Decisions are based on what makes the most sense financially for the club. So not what's good for the sporting team side of it. It's financial as usual. Keeping someone for their final year can sometimes be deemed more beneficial than pocketing a low fee and having to recruit a replacement. Contract extensions can protect a player's value, but you don't want to be lumbered with paying massive wages for someone whose influence has waned. It's a careful balancing act, especially for a club with self-sustaining business model. So that's the article, guys. That last bit's not good reading, is it? Decisions are based on what makes the most financial sense for the club. I can't see Liverpool letting Mo Salah go for nothing when they've just turned down 150 million. Can you? I can't. And contract extensions can protect a player's value, but you don't want to be lumbered with paying higher wages. You've just said that all three of these players are at the top and can play for years and years to come. So you're a bit of a contradiction there, James. Anyway, guys, let me know down in the comments what you think on all of this and what you think is going to happen. Give the video a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.